humanity and compassion. And all these are important values, so to speak. When you have faith, you will be able to create brotherhood, sisterhood, one family, and be compassionate to each other more than being proud or trying to outdo one another. So the equality in God's eyes, that's what he's been very strong about in his leadership as the Holy Father.
Okay, and these are some pictures we're now getting from how it was in Jakarta, where the Holy Father met with, of course, the Catholics in Indonesia. Catholics, by the way, Indonesia is a very populated country. It's got about 283 million people, and out of those, about 3% are Catholics. And that 3% represents about 8 to 9 million Catholics. And that's about the same number of people in Papua New Guinea. And we're Christians, I think, in Papua New Guinea, only about 27 to 30%
yes.
are Catholics.
Yes.
Yes. So that's something to think about. We're still waiting for the plane, and as we are waiting, here is an interview with the Cardinal of Port Moresby of Papua New Guinea, Sir John Ribbert. I conducted with him earlier on. He would be at the airport to meet the Holy Father, but this is just a glimpse of the interview I did with him earlier on.
Your Eminence, you will be at the airport saying hello to the Holy Father,
yes,
into the country, into your own archdiocese, to your people.
yes.
Tell me the moment. How do you think you'll feel?
Yeah, for me, it's really an exciting moment because the coming of the Holy Father to PNG, this is not the first time. It started in 1984. At the time, Archbishop Peter Koronku was the Archbishop of Port Moresby. We saw him welcoming him, and then in 1995 again, and it was him again, Archbishop Peter Koronku. And so what I was saying was thinking that, oh, it's his work, and then maybe after those others also, when Pope comes, they will be the one to do it.
Yes. You didn't think it'll be your turn?
I didn't think that it will be me. But this time, he came to me.
Okay.
And that's when it's really, I'm very happy and so excited that he's coming to us at this time. It's really a time when we will see the whole nation coming together. And for me also to welcome the whole nation, welcome him, and also welcome all our visitors here, plus the whole of
the church in Papua New Guinea,
yes,
and the Solomon Islands.
Yes, you're the hosting diocese.
The hosting diocese,
Yeah.
And so on the side of the church, yes, welcoming, and plus our nation, and also all Christians.
Yes.
For that point, So I'm grateful that I will be the one to welcome him at this time, and on behalf of the church, the church and the churches, Catholic Church and the churches also, Christian churches, because I am the chairman of the PNG Council of Churches, also other churches together with us. So that is what I'm seeing, and I'm so excited about this and of his coming. And so for me, that is a great moment of joy and a great moment of experiencing this moment at this time. Also at this time, I'm very excited to see that, people have been walking from the highlands, so from Hagen, from Mendi, and from other places in the highlands, but also from the Momase region.
Yes,
they came walking.
Plane loads too as well.
Yeah, and also walking, plane loads plus people walking, and so from the 4 regions walking here, even from Popondeta to here, and from Golela to down here. So it's really a moment that has really kind of captured everyone and got everyone excited.
Yes.
And so now they are all walking here, and to see the crowd that is gathering here is really a moment of joy.
Yes.
A moment of joy, a moment of seeing unity, of seeing that we had to be united, working together for our nation, to build a nation.
All right. The Holy Father comes at a time when, you know, the country is going through a few problems, politically, if you will, or natural disaster. What do you think? What does the visit, should the visit be viewed as something that will cleanse and look at some of the issues that we have?
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah. You see, going through all what we have been through, violence, also killing, natural disasters. So this has been seen, not only within but also outside, in the media, and I saw that when
I was interviewed by Radio the Vatican, EWTN, and also all other Radio France. See, they were interviewing me, and all they were kind of also focusing to be able to know how we are preparing in relation to all this that has.
Because they see all the negative publicity about the country.
Yeah. All they know and see the negative publicity, so they are kind of caught up in that. And then that's what they wanted to see happen. And so really, as all these things were happening, we were looking for a way, how can we address these things? What is it that will bring us moment of being united, coming together, and to be able to see a way to be able to address all these things and be able to start to see us being united for a purpose in life. So what I saw here is that his coming, the coming of the Holy Father, you know, he did know about all this. He knows about all this. And at this time, as he's coming, he's not in good health, and he's turning 88 years old. 87, but turning 88 years old. So with all that, despite of his health condition and so on, he did not say, enough, I'm not coming to PNG. But he said, I will come.
That's got to be special to PNG and
that's right.
Catholics in this country.
That's right.
Christians as well.
Yeah, Christians. So and so he has his heart. You know, in our heart we are close to him, and that's why it's for me it is so an exciting moment for him to come. And I'm seeing here that he comes also, he wants to bring blessing, knowing that all these difficulties and all these challenges that we have gone through, he wanted that something good should come to us. And so in his difficult moment in his life, health condition and also his age and so on, he's not a young man, but knowing all this, he said, I will come. I want to be among you. I want to be in your midst. I want also to be part of what you are experiencing. And you know, for me, excuse me, for me, I'm seeing that this is really something that has brought him to come to us. And also I'm seeing here that, you know, Jesus was so compassionate and he was so loving to many. Those who went through difficult times, sickness and so on, he was there. He was so compassionate and he was close to them. This moment also, I'm seeing, you know, Christ appointed Peter. Peter as you know, he said to him, he asked him, Peter, do you love me? And then he said, yes, I love you. He said, look after my sheep. And then he asked him again, do you love me? And then he said, Peter, you are the rock, and on this rock I will build my church. And then he appointed Peter to be the leader, his speaker here on earth. And so that from that moment until this time, the present Pope now, Pope Francis, I think he would be the over 200 bishops, popes in history from that time until today. And so in this history, so his coming is the vicar of Christ, representing Christ. Okay. It is through, with that understanding of him appointing Peter, Peter is dead, and here he's one of those that from his appointment from the time until Pope Francis at this time.
Okay.
So another thing, I just want to kind of bring that together.
Sure.
You know, the bishops, all the bishops throughout the world, we have a program to be able to visit the Holy Father in Rome. But then, this is what is so interesting. Our visit to Rome is always to visit two persons, Saint Peter and the present Pope. And that's what we did last year in May. We went to Rome, we visited the tomb of Peter, we prayed, asked his intercession for us, that, you know, in your time you build a church. At this time, it is I want them now to be able to walk in the same path, encouraging, uniting the churches together, not only Catholics but all Christians together in the same faith in Jesus Christ. That we are to continue to journey together to build your kingdom here on earth.
Okay, all right.
That's what it is. So his coming is also reminding us of that. It's the vicar of Christ, Jesus himself, appoint Peter, and now in our time, Pope Francis is with us.
Okay. Well, Papua New Guinea should feel absolutely graced to receive him. You yourself, you were appointed as cardinal by Pope Francis and a number of others.
Yes.
So in a way, the boss is coming to see how his fellow student is doing, if you like.
Yeah, I'm grateful to share this, because two cardinals were appointed cardinals. I was in Rome, the Cardinal of Indonesia, Cardinal of
East Timor.
East Timor, and Cardinal of Singapore. So, you know, all of us here, this time the countries is visiting, he appointed all the cardinals, the four of us. But also, at this time, he is the one also who appointed Cardinal Soane Mafi of Tonga.
Okay. So, and he is also here.
He also here is present at the moment.
Okay.
And so that is a great moment. That's why he comes out visiting the cardinals that he has appointed and meeting them where they are. And so it's really a great moment of experiencing his presence and his visit among us. And even at this time when he's not so kind of healthy, but he wanted to be here. And I believe he is so excited also.
And all these are important values.
He kind of broke barriers in religious differences, whatever, what have you, in Indonesia, Islam, Buddhism, all of those. Archbishop, tell us about that he kind of broke barriers.
Great moment for us also to experience his presence and to be able to welcome him to our nations in the Asia-Pacific region.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Well, Your Eminence, I'm sure we will see more of you and hear more of you in the next day or two, as you will be the main celebrant, if you like.
Yes.
And receiving the Holy Father in this country. So we'll leave it at that, and we'll talk to you more as the days come along.
Thank you.
Thank you. The magic of television. That was His Eminence Cardinal Sir John Ribot. I talked to him earlier, and now he's at Jackson's Airport with the rest of the VIPs to welcome the Garuda Airbus that is flying in the Holy Father and his entourage. Archbishop Rokus, you know, there's a name for the plane that normally flies the Pope around. What do they call it? They have a special name for it. I'm sure that the Garuda Airbus is not referred to as that, but he has his own plane that is referred to like the President of the United States. It's called Air Force One. And is it like that?
Yes, John, and our viewers and listeners, this plane that the Holy Father gets onto for his long travels, they refer to it as Shepherd One.
Shepherd One?
Shepherd One, yes.
Wow, wow.
Because he's supposed to be the chief shepherd.
Okay.
So the shepherd has that premier place when he gets on that plane.
All right. Well, the Airbus that's bringing the Holy Father here is not called Shepherd One, but at least we had the benefit of knowing that his plane is Shepherd One, Air Force One, if it's the United States of America president, or Trump One, if it's Donald Trump. But here we have the live pictures from the airport, and that vehicle we just saw is the vehicle specially fitted to transport the Holy Father from the airport to the Apostolic Nunciature at Air Nugini Hill here at Corbusier. That'll happen later on. But I think they're anticipating the plane to land any time. It's now about 7 o'clock, and the indications we are getting that the Garuda Airbus will touch down at about maybe 7 past or 10 past. This could be it. Maybe it's a little earlier than what I was told, but as we can see, it's making its approach. It's coming in. I'm told that it's another plane. It's not the Garuda Airbus.
So everybody relax for now. I know there was a moment of high anticipation and expectation.
So the Garuda Airbus is about 6 minutes away. So it'll be after 6 minutes. If there's an aeroplane landing, that'll be it. But at the airport, Archbishop, there are a number of people who are there to receive the Holy Father and his entourage. Now, coming with him on that plane, we are told are a number of people, his own security, his own medical personnel. Tell us about that.
Well, John, I think he has his entourage that is made up of a lot of the journalists that will be covering the personnel who takes care of his personal needs.
Yes.
Given that he's an old man now, he's 87 and having to have this one of the longest journeys in his life as the Holy Father, as the Pope, and so he needs those extra personnel to be closer to him. And as we know, he is also on a wheelchair, and these are certain needs that he needs extra people and extra hands to take care of him.
Yes, because he's in a state, in a situation where, he's 88 very shortly. He will be 88 very shortly, and I think this is the twilight time of his life, I suppose, and, he needs a little bit of attention. And this flight is the second of a 4-nation tour, the longest he's ever taken, so I guess his condition will have to be monitored closely. Now, at the dais here, these are live pictures you are seeing at Jackson's airport right now. That dais we will see in a short while. The Holy Father will be up there to take the guard of honor, and right now I think on the dais is the commander of the force, Commodore Philip Polaware, the acting chief of the Papua New Guinea Defense Force. And there are other officials down there. Right in the left-hand corner, I can see the Honorable Justin Chechenko.
And here is a picture of all the clergy out there, no doubt. The Cardinal will lead that group. So they are sensing there's some activity now on the ground at Jackson's airport, at the APEC dais. A special place set up there to welcome the Holy Father.
The New Guinea officials, government workers. See, there's government people there. The Honorable John Rosso, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands, is at the airport to receive the Holy Father. See, the other thing we've got to remember is Pope Francis is not just a Pope and a clergy for, and that is, and talking about the man, that's him, the Deputy Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea and Lands Minister, the Honorable John Rosso. Going up there, him and the commander of the Defense Force will be receiving the Holy Father on that dais, from which he will take the guard of honor. But I think the Deputy Prime Minister is also going to be accorded that benefit as well while waiting. The Deputy Prime Minister, of course, represents the people of Papua New Guinea. The Holy Father is a religious leader of the Catholics throughout the world, but he's also the head of state. the Vatican State. So he has his embassy here, which is called the Apostolic Nunciature, and the Apostolic Nuncio represents him here in Nugini Hill, and that is the case elsewhere in the world, where the Vatican has embassies or apostolic nunciatures in those countries.
And some of the other government officials on the left-hand corner of your screen there are also there as part of the government delegation to receive the Holy Father. We are only a few minutes away, I think, from seeing that Airbus from Garuda, the Indonesian national airline that is flying in the Holy Father and his entourage into Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. And this, the Papua New Guinea leg, the Papua New Guinea leg of the Holy Father's visit is the second of 4. He's been to Indonesia, he's been to Jakarta. Now he's here for at least 2 or 3 days. And then he flies to Timor-Leste and then all the way to Singapore. So it is quite a long trip by the Holy Father. Now, Archbishop, it is all that he's coming here is trying to get his message to the periphery of these countries. The word periphery is that not only does he want to go to developed areas and to the established areas, but go to new areas where the church is developing and growing, and in places particularly like Timor-Leste and Papua New Guinea, and Indonesia as well.
Yes, John, what is significant in this particular 4-nation visits, that Pope Francis appointed 4 new cardinals of these places. So our own His Eminence John Ribat, he also appointed the others for East Timor, Timor-Leste, and Singapore, and Indonesia. So in a sense, he is following up on this important development in the church that he appointed to senior leadership in the church from these very almost unknown countries, unknown communities. And then he's following up, because he himself, being appointed Pope, he considers himself also from the end of the world, because he's the first one from South America.
Yes.
And so he feels more closer, and the feeling of being out there at the edges and the fringes, now coming to the center stage.
And there is the Airbus, Garuda Airbus, with the Holy Father, making the approach, and will touch down on Papua New Guinea soil, carrying the Holy Father.
Out that there are hundreds of people at Jackson's to see that plane land and to see the Holy Father emerge from that, and is escorted to the dais up there, where he will take the guard of honor and meet members of the clergy there and government officials.
There was some reports that the Airbus was taking off in Jakarta a little bit late, but they made up time, and they're almost on time here. Just a few minutes late, but on time, as how the program was laid out here for the Papua New Guinea leg of his trip.
Well, John, the point for us will be, we always put an hour and always we are late, but I think for this case, we can find it exceptional that we're still within time because of the flying time. They managed to catch up for the hour that was proposed.
The program is the special charter will stop at an area reserved for ceremonies at the APEC terminal. The Vatican protocol and security officials, I think, will exit from the rear staircase. The plane is still exiting to where it is designated to come to a stop. And on board, as we have said, apart from the Holy Father himself, are members of the Vatican media accredited to be part of this trip. And of course his personal staff. Here are some of the government officials at the airport. The Honorable Justin Chechenko, the Honorable Delta Wong, and a number of others that I couldn't see. And there's the Airbus taxiing down the runway, and it will park at a special APEC parking ceremony where the die stands, where the Holy Father will emerge. So activities, all activities will happen as soon as the plane comes to a stop. These are live pictures of the visit to Papua New Guinea by the Holy Father for Pope Francis. It'll be a 4-day visit. As well, so are we here at the media center, and I'm sure everybody else who's watching. That's the site at Jackson Airport in Port Moresby. Quite a memorable site. The visit to Papua New Guinea by Pope Francis. He'll be here on Saturday and Sunday. A number of engagements are planned. He also visits Vanimo in the Sundown province. You know, some of the details, Archbishop, the population of Catholics in the world stand at 1.39 billion. And in Papua New Guinea, 96% of Papua New Guineans are Christians. And out of those, 30% of Papua New Guineans are Catholics, and that represents about 2.5 going on to 3 million people. And that's according to the 2011 census, and it's now almost 13 years, and that census has never been updated, so that number could have increased. We could guess it and still get it right.
Yes, John, the population continues to grow.
Yes.
And one of the challenges in Papua New Guinea, we never get ourselves right with our census. But we do know that in the families, they're expanding, and the challenges of school fees, feeding, and of course our schools and our health centers, these are the ones that measure how much are we catering for all our people?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Archbishop. A Garuda Airbus bringing the Holy Father into Port Moresby. The papal flag is flying as a normal protocol requirement. And coming from Indonesia, a country, an Islam country, Buddhism and Hinduism are strong. And the population there, 383 million people. Out of those, only 8.3 million are Catholics in Indonesia. And in Papua New Guinea, as we alluded earlier, 30% of the how many people we have right now, and as we said, the census is not updated, 30% are Catholics, but 96% of the people are Christians. Garuda Airbus, on board the Holy Father, Pope Francis.
It would be a different arrival if it was sunlight or sunset.
You'd have people hanging off branches and on rooftops. I'm not quite sure whether that's happening right now. It could be. It's dark, so we can't see. I'm sure people are seeking some vantage points to have a sneak preview of the arrival. There you are, the Vatican flag and the PNG flag. How about that? It is, looking at that picture, it is a picture of, if it's not excitement, then it is a one of anticipation of what might be, what might happen, what might be said, what might be the outcome when it's all over. At a time when Papua New Guinea is going through some difficult times of law and order, difficult times of hardships, difficult times politically.
You might also have to consider at this point, with the advancement of information communications technology, that a lot of people are having personally following what is going on, which is before you would have a radio only or a TV for a big group of people. But now, given the personalized technology, everyone is to themselves watching what is going on.
We've come of time, haven't we? Yes, we have. Oh, yes, we have. So when the aircraft is parked and the engine stopped, and when the Holy Father emerges and his entourage, people there to greet him and follow through the protocols, will, as we said, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable John Rosso, is already there representing the government and the people of Papua New Guinea to welcome the Holy Father. And with him are a number of ministers, including the Honourable Justin Chechenko, the Minister for Foreign Affairs. And he's there in his capacity as welcoming a dignitary from another country who's the head of state as well. And there also, no doubt, will be other government officials, members of the Honourable Paus is also there. He's kind of hosting the National Capital District, National Capital District, so he's the governor here, he's there to welcome him. And the people, the traditional landowners and the people here, the Motu Koitabu, are represented. There at the airport by Gary Crocker Jr., the chairman of the Motu Koitabuans. And then, of course, for representing the public servants out there is Ivan Pomala, the Chief Secretary to Government, and also the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Elias Wahengu. On the Vatican side, there is, of course, His Eminence, Cardinal Sir John Ribot, representing the Archdiocese of Port Moresby, playing host to the visit by the Papal. And then, of course, you will have the representatives of the Apostolic Nunciature. That's like the embassy of the Vatican Embassy here in Port Moresby, in Papua New Guinea. You also have His Excellency Otto Sepre. He's the Bishop of Barena and the President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference. A little bit dark out there, and of course out at the tarmac you don't have lights. Like you, if it was daytime, then it would be very clear. But yes, it's somebody switched on some lights there. Wow! I said the magic word, did I? And there's the crew that was responsible for flying the Holy Father from Jakarta in Indonesia to Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea. A trip that took almost 5 to 6 hours. We're waiting for the moment when all will be cleared for disembarkation of the people on board. And just in front of the aeroplane, the Airbus is a little, almost like a smaller miniature Toyota, but it is specially fitted for the Holy Father to be driven from there to Nugini Hill. Now these are the Mekio dancers, Mekio performers who are there to welcome. And I think it was done in the previous visits by the Pope John Paul II, and on his 2 visits here, the Mekios had gone out there and had performed and had welcomed. These pictures are coming to you live, wherever you are, live from Jackson's Airport in Port Moresby. The Garuda Airbus that has just flown in has flown in, the Holy Father and his entourage, and landed at Jackson's Airport a few minutes ago. It's been a long flight in Indonesia, so from here there are no other programs planned. As he steps down from the plane, he will take the guard of honor, say hello to the dignitaries there, take the guard of honor, and then will be taken to Nugini Hill, where the Apostolic Nunciature is. That's the embassy of the Vatican.
And these are some of the clergy out there. Archbishop, you know them. Who are they?
What we just see a while ago is the president, Bishop Otto Sapari. The Bishop of Brena is the president of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, and was standing to his back was Bishop Joseph Rosinski,
Okay.
the Bishop of Quebec, and all the others. But the rest, everybody, I think at this point is nothing much they can say. They're just looking
Just sort of watch.
and just taking it in.
Yes. Yes. So they've obviously opened two doors. One at the back, I take it, will be the entourage, the accredited media will come out of there. Some security personnel. Then the steps in the front will be where the Holy Father will no doubt will be guided down. And there's some of the members, part of the entourage, coming down at the back end. And if they are media people, they will no doubt circle the front to take pictures. That's what they came for, and they're not going to miss this opportunity. And in Papua New Guinea, we offer a different kind of reception with the young Mekio dancers who are dressed up in front. Here are some members of the security personnel making sure that the Holy Father is safe. Trained personnel, so they swift into action. Now some members of some of our dignitaries, as well as the two Mekio girls dressed in Mekio dress, will welcome the Holy Father. Is there any specific order under which the bishops go to meet the Holy Father there? Were they picked? Were they chosen? Or how is that arrived at?
John, what is happening is all the bishops are invited to be present for the arrival to greet the Holy Father, because in most cases he is the what's referred to as the supreme pontiff, who is the overall boss, and everybody, we normally every 5 years we have to go and give an account on how you're running your dioceses or archdioceses, and so he is also keen to meet each one. And recently we just met him in Rome last year, and now when he comes and see the bishops or meet the bishops on their own turf, it's a bit of a different experience for the Holy Father as much as for the bishops themselves. So in that regard, there is no, of course, we have the Cardinal and the Chairman of the Bishops' Conference, the President, and then the rest. That's about it. We'll be having also a few others who arrived. The other Cardinal from Tonga and another Archbishop from Fiji and from New Zealand, who just felt that this, because we are making Papua New Guinea as representing the Oceania, and so these other bishops felt that they have to be here to representing their four conferences, Australia, New Zealand, and CPAC is all the nations in the Pacific Ocean, and Papua New Guinea Solomon Islands. So this is why we are hearing the referral or the references that this visit is a pastoral and apostolic visit of His Holiness Pope Francis to to Asia, and Papua New Guinea seems to be at the borderline between Asia and Oceania. Yeah.
Where the bridge.
Yeah.
Where the bridge. We'll break into a little bit of picture here, Archbishop. Online blog Papua New Guinea. Yumi tok pinis desla balus karim po pusati kam luki mipla kam lo country blo mipla balus kam pon down pinis na online or big line blong government na lotu tu oli golo place balus long ko kisimem tok welcome long em na kisimem na em by ikat planning program long em long working long Port Moresby long Saturday na Sunday na tu em by go long Vanimol or West Civic Province. You go looking all some long missionary usatoli come long place where em come long em come long one bla South American country or they call him Argentina. Now this all missionary all some long sister or work line all come long up. Now you look all same all line here. It come down the front end and all sambla all line usati come on them em. I think only come pass long. Ready long em by come down. Mibla wait yet. All got to look strong, Archbishop.
John this pala balus. You know, one kind of small balus si misalo kim long kind of semika triple all exit ya lo back side long front nothing long side you go to long left hand you can look him. So ilugol siya mo kataman ilugol tasol na which one by Papa Santo come out long him. Holy Father by come long this la front or long back side or long side you go. But now all katay stop lugulog tasol na wet long look him which step by kisimikam because I mean no walk about to I think only pitimeter long wheelchair by easy long emi go down long usim balusi go down long and you will come on top long podium long here but I think long kata viewers long emi this pala excitement na preparation of this pala time now emi kama finish now sampla long all line walk about one time Moli Oklong come kisim place meeting all line even walk about them all group belong one can say all journalists big line but sampla all close collaborators belong all work line one time now you meet to call him finish before because long situation na condition belong we need more extra care long all man long come. But the point that Palandi, look sabi Tomas, given or some lapun finish na emi got sala fragile, still emi talk emi like come. You can look him now, by come out now on the plus side.
Okay. You look also only use narapla something long Nugini long put him long up na let him come down long up because em lapun na em
Emi insist long come.
Yes.
Even suppose all team long what they can only come look now only go long one more now only come back na toko some country got problem long or heavy one them transport long balusi ron or you got short of fuel or kind or complication come up now only go through long in only to game na emi di ride long all ketawan tok long in ito all sem only to kimi all semi hard lo come that's all me like come. Me come.
I'm not looking all people belong. Am now. Name come now. Come now long upside. You're going to stop the wheelchair. I'm sick, I'm not walk about them yet. Only help him go come all sem na all karim come down long one bla legally kapan blong Nugini is a karim all one is something go on long balus na come down long end long upside now all narble all come lo front now all bishop all dress come down you meeting all sem all bishop now all walk line blo lotu ta so you must thinking all sem Holy Father all sem president or prime minister and big man blo Vatican state now all this la bishops number all sample online and minister blong one kind of them suppose prime minister blong bla James Marape go on Arab country and sample minister go on them and one kind of them all sample all this all come on them all sample minister blong or sample advisor blong or sample one in blong long Vatican state because all workman blong is like kind of some government of Vatican is a religious leader as well as a head of state.
John, I think only been talk long secretary to long secretary of state by come one them. That's all. Ni been harim ken rapla talk also this secretary now we no come one them all because mommy die. Now this mama belong this secretary 96 year old mama. So time he die now. Emi stop back so all na rapla now only come. But even kind of simito all ministries now all secretaries all close line is awok about one temem na awok one temem na only come look him to bless all countries pe mi long here long Asia na long Oceania
now online way lo come down all this la all tubla lilik very tubla dress up all semitok mekio central tasolino mekio motu koitabo long motu koitabo tubla dress stop long na all this line is stop na time Holy Father come close to chief protocol officer blah 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 by introduce him or by talk sabi long deputy prime minister blah blah long come long Holy Father all same formality kind sign also working long big man long narapla country come and now wheelchair only William go long where Deputy Prime Minister is long and Pope Francis. You look at him now. But you may talk on him. Picture talk finish. Kiss him flower gifts na you saw traditional sign blow mipla long national capital na Papua Nugini go long. That's all man blong come all media line come long Vatican to also I like him this like kind picture I like swim the world all same na all to block him all up camera blow mipla that's all me alright. So here goes the Deputy Prime Minister. Welcome to Papua New Guinea, he says.
We are honored to have you here on shore. And Igolo now, Deputy Prime Minister, by accompany him or guide him, Holy Father, Igolong all line blong him now, all dignitaries for such stuff blong him, and by introduce him all Igolong Holy Father. This like commander blong commodore, blong acting chief blong Papua New Guinea Defense Force. Gone up long APEC dice, whereby online blow mipla, all Soria and online blow mipla long here by Suluti mem. I think only mem na ila kira mem tazo samplai lusiman na close to empon down. That's all looking past long, I'm Somalia. Man belong all people. Man belong go along all border numbers, all periphery, or English or talk periphery. I'm long outside. I'm not like go all city na kind of them. I'm like go where all people are, sleep outside. Outside all main cities na all good lap, all stuff long where happy hardly long end. I'm like go long end because long kind walk long em na ting long em. Deputy Prime Minister, one time the Holy Father. That's the 21 gun salute now. Normally, he would receive that salute standing up. But in his condition, of course, he is seated. And as a mark of respect for him, the Deputy Prime Minister is also seated with him. That picture of the Deputy Prime Minister and the Holy Father on the dais is a picture of a moment in time in the history of Papua New Guinea. Archbishop, that's the Honorable Justin Chechenko, the Foreign Minister, going up, meeting with the Holy Father, and the national anthems of Papua New Guinea and the Vatican have been taken. The governor of the National Capital District, the Honorable Paus, gets the opportunity to get a close-up meeting, handshake with the Holy Father. I couldn't see his face. It could be one of the governors. Government officials. One by one are being introduced, and the Honorable Justin Chechenko is introducing important people, and that is MP Peter Isoaimo, member for it's the chairman of the Motu Koitabuns, Daddy Toka Jr. And this is Delta Wong, the member for Gazelle. From West New Britain, that's the Honorable Elias Kapavore. A rare handshake, Peter Siamalili, Police Minister, a rare handshake that they'll treasure for a long time in their lives. You'll never get that as frequent as you would in your electorate. Okay, its formality is over. The Foreign Minister. Okay, that's the members of the clergy. I'll let you do that.
There are a couple of visitors from our nearby Australia and New Zealand are taking part in the welcome as representing our Oceania Catholic Bishops, the Federation of the Catholic Bishops Conference here. So they are amongst the mix of all the ones that are welcoming and greeting His Holiness Pope Francis.
Big plus side lo disla also online go past long government side. Only talk welcome long M. Lo side block government because M2 head block government lo Vatican. Na tu na all disla all bishop lo disla side all talk hello long M no welcome M long M head block church all same name two blood group it talk welcome long M long I come long en lo Papua New Guinea. And this is a reality performance, an official visit to any country. And now legally carrier mitoge only equipment long by Karim, the Holy Father, he go long place long lo sleep long Nugini hill long Tokorara. Place them by sleep long also embassy long long ground house by sleep long long government blo Papua Nugini Papa long or when long Vatican long Rome yet long Vatican state yet also one kind also embassy by sleep long at time go long Narbla country no sa sleep long hotel or house long Narbla man state houses or accommodation by go sleep long embassy or high commission or when him up well only call him apostolic where apostolic nuncios are stablongen. Now I'm by working one kind of sem port must be. By non have sleep long hotel, by non have sleep long government guest house, by sleep long place blow yet. Long ground blow yet. Inside long. Legally have ground inside lo Papua New Guinea and long Vatican. Now place long and go sleep long end. Legally carrier by Gishim Holy Father, he go long place blame lo stop. That's all one plus something, road long Jackson Airport, he come in up long 5 mile line, going up long Corobosea and I go long independent go long Nugini Hill and pull up long old man, Mary, all the day line up long road na Toktoki come also more legally gold candle or some light long sons belong all long, look long. Pope Francis. And now Lushim, there's a legally up ceremony, up welcome ceremony belong him. Now by Igor now. Long blood trip belong him. Trango, go sleep. Tomorrow big blood day. By you meet Toktok on Isla. That's all you mean behind me go legally. All some black car go past na backside long and all security car about. Some place stop close to like mobile phone camera I walk about now. I'll get that on. And finish him, digly up welcome ceremonial or Jackson's Airport, or Port Moresby. Pope Francis, Archbishop, is now being taken to taken to Nugini Hill.
Yes, John.
Tokorara, where he will be overnighting at the Apostolic Nunciature. That's the embassy, like an embassy. And no doubt there'll be people lining up the route. He will be driving. The route will be from Erma to 5 Mile and then Boroko and then all the way to Corobosea and all the way to Nugini Hill. And there you can see how Port Moresby has turned out to welcome and the head of the Vatican, a spiritual leader who's very powerful in the world, just by the very nature that he is, a spiritual leader. You know, it's quite extraordinary, Archbishop, that to see all these cars, police, buses, huge Land Cruisers, big cars, taking all the other dignitaries, but the Holy Father is in a small Toyota, waving to the people and going. I think it is specially fitted. I'm not suggesting that it is done for whatever, but I think it is by choice that he wants to have it open and wave to people along the way.
This Holy Father Francis, by teaching this name Francis, he wanted to be closer to the Saint Francis of Assisi, who was from a very rich family, and when he had to respond to the call to be a disciple of Jesus, in a sense, he stripped off everything, gave it back to his father, and walked out a poor man, a beggar. And that is the message that you want to really emphasize. Even when he was already elected Pope, he went himself back on a small car, or he got a public bus, something there, to get the securities to get him, because he wanted to go back to the hotel where he stayed and to pay off his bills. You know, this was mind-blowing for a lot of people. They would send the secretaries to do this and that, but he himself chose to go and pay off his bill and ask if anything else. And then because in his country, in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, he himself traveled a lot on public passes. That was how he was close to the people, and he picked up a lot of the people's pain and sufferings and challenges by being with them in this public transport. So for him it is pretty normal to be just in a small car like that.
Okay. It's being reflected here, and even in Indonesia, there were pictures circulating of him in a tricycle in the middle of one of the busy streets in Indonesia. But here, yes, he demonstrates that to the people of Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. A simple man, the people spoke. And a number of the officials have taken leave. First was the Deputy Prime Minister, now the Commodore, the Chief Commodore of the Defence Force. Okay, as matter of protocol, we allow the Holy Father to be driven to Air Nugini Hill, where he will have his dinner. And where he will rest for the night. The official welcome ceremony of the Holy Father Pope Francis to Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea.
aims to bring together industry leaders to try and harness AI to further the UN's development goals in areas like health, climate and sustainability.
How do we govern technologies if we don't yet know their full potential?
The main purpose of the summit is to explore how the AI solutions can help sustainable development.
AI will come to influence almost every aspect of our societies and economies.
AI 这里框架 AI for good.
I would say the most pressing topic at the summit is going to be how do you handle deepfakes, misinformation.
成为 AI for good. for good.
The good news is that the future of undetectable deepfakes can be avoided through the development and implementation of robust detection technologies and international standards.
The formal site, the welcome ceremony.
You know, what I've really seen is the fact that we can really affect amazing change, but we have to do this together, and we have to do it in collaboration with partners, with organizations, with institutions, and that's what's making me so excited about what AI for Good is all about.
9:45, the Holy Father will pay a courtesy call to
One-third
the
of
Governor
humanity
General
remains
of Papua New Guinea
completely
at Government House.
offline, excluded
And then
from the AI
he
revolution.
will have an opportunity to address all the politicians and members of the diplomatic corps, business leaders, and also leaders that come from other parts of the Pacific. Prime ministers that might come from a number of smaller island countries, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, even Nauru. And igolong or line blong em na all dignitaries for such step blong em by introducing all igolong Holy Father. Em na this like commander blong commodore blong acting chief blong Papua New Guinea Defense Force. Na igwanta blong APEC dies, whereby online blow mibla, all Soria, online blow mibla long here by Suluti mem. I think only mem na ila kiramem ta samlai lusimana close to pun down. That's all looking past long. I'm smiling. Man blong all people. Man blong I go long all border number, all periphery law. English also periphery. I'm long outside. I'm not like go all city na kind of them. I'm like go where all people are, sleep outside. Outside all main cities na all good lap, all stuff long where happy hardly long end. I'm like go long end because long kind walk long end na ting long end. Deputy Prime Minister, one time the Holy Father. That's the 21 gun salute now. Normally, he would receive that salute standing up. But in his condition, of course, he is seated. And as a mark of respect for him, the Deputy Prime Minister is also seated with him. That picture of the Deputy Prime Minister and the Holy Father on the dais is a picture of a moment in time in the history of Papua New Guinea.
Archbishop, that's the Honorable Justin Chechenko, the Foreign Minister, going up, meeting with the Holy Father, and the national anthems of Papua New Guinea and the Vatican have been taken. The Governor of the National Capital District, the Honorable Paus gets the opportunity to get a close-up meeting, handshake with the Holy Father. I couldn't see his face. It could be one of the governors. government officials. One by one are being introduced, and the Honourable
Justin Chechenko is introducing important people, and that is MP Peter Isoaimo, member for it's the chairman of the Motu Koitabuns, Daddy Toka Jr. And this is Delta Wong, the member for Gazelle. From West New Britain, that's the Honourable Elias Kapabore. Ray and Sheikh Peter Siamalili, Police Minister, a rare handshake that they'll treasure for a long time in their lives. You'll never get that as frequent as you would in your electorate. Okay, its formality is over. The Foreign Minister. Okay, that's the members of the clergy. I'll let you do that, Archbishop.
Of course, we have His Eminence, Cardinal Sir John Ribat. Similar to the Governor of NCD, both are owners of the city, and they are welcoming him to spend his time with our people here in the nation's capital, and all the other bishops coming from the various provinces and dioceses, bringing with them all the people they represent, and as much as the services that we deliver, the education, health, most of the bishops have been looking forward to this opportunity, and as I said earlier, that there are a couple of visitors from our nearby Australia and New Zealand are taking part in the welcome as representing our Oceania Catholic Bishops, the Federation of the Catholic Bishops Conference here. So they are amongst the mix of all the ones that are welcoming and greeting His Holiness Pope Francis.
Big plus side lo disla also online go past long government side only talk welcome long M lo side long government because M2 M head long government lo Vatican na tu na all disla all bishop lo disla side all talk hello long M no welcome M long M head long church all same name tupla group it talk welcome long M long ikam long en lo Papua Nugini. And this is a reality performance, an official visit to any country. And now legally Karya, mitoge only equipment long by Karim, the Holy Father, he go long place long lo sleep long Nugini Hill long Tokorara. Bless them by Silip long also embassy blong blong ground house by Silip long non government blo Papua Nugini Papa long o when blong Vatican, blong Rome yet, blong Vatican State yet. Also one kind also embassy by Silip long. Time go long Narabla country. No sa Silip hotel or house belong Narabla man state houses or accommodation. By go Silip embassy or high commission or when him up well only call him apostolic where apostolic nuncios are stablong. Now I'm by working one kind also report must be. By non have Silip hotel, by non have Silip government guest house, by Silip place blow yet. Long ground blow yet. Inside long. Legally have ground inside lo Papua Nugini and long Vatican. Then place long and go Silip long. Some place stop close to lucky legally mobile phone camera walk about now. I'll get that on. And finish him, diglig up, welcome ceremonial or Jackson's airport, lo Port Moresby. Pope Francis, Archbishop, is now being taken to taken to Nugini Hill.
Yes,
Tokorara,
John.
where he will be overnighting at the Apostolic Nunciature. That's the embassy, like an embassy. And no doubt there'll be people lining up the route. He will be driving. The route will be from Erma to 5 Mile and then Boroko and then all the way to Korobose and all the way to Nugini Hill. And there you can see how Port Moresby has turned out to welcome the head of the Catholic Church and the head of the Vatican. A spiritual leader who's very powerful in the world. Just by the very nature that he is, a spiritual leader. You know, it's quite extraordinary, Archbishop, that to see all these cars, police, buses, huge Land Cruisers, big cars, taking all the other dignitaries, but the Holy Father is in a small Toyota, waving to the people and going. I think it's especially fitted. I'm not suggesting that it is done for whatever, but I think it is by choice that he wants to have it open and wave to people along the way.
This Holy Father Francis, by teaching this name Francis, he wanted to be closer to the Saint Francis of Assisi, who was from a very rich family, and when he had to respond to the call to be a disciple of Jesus, in a sense he stripped off everything, gave it back to his father, and walked out a poor man, a beggar. And that is the message that you want to really emphasize. Even when he was already elected Pope, he went himself back on a small car or he got a public bus, something, they have to get the securities to get him, because he wanted to go back to the hotel where he stayed and to pay off his bills. You know, this was mind-blowing for a lot of people. They would send the secretaries to do this and that, but he himself chose to go and pay off his bill and ask if anything else. And then and because in his country, in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, he himself traveled a lot on public buses. That was how he was close to the people, and he picked up a lot of the people's pain and sufferings and challenges by being with them in this public transport. So for him it is pretty normal to be just in a small car like that.
Okay. It's being reflected here, and even in Indonesia, there were pictures circulating of him in a tricycle in the middle of one of the busy streets in Indonesia. But here, yes, he demonstrates that to the people of Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. A simple man, the people spoke. And a number of the officials have taken leave. First was the Deputy Prime Minister, now the Commodore, the Chief Commodore of the Defence Force. Okay, as matter of protocol, we allow the Holy Father to be driven to Nugini Hill, where he will have his dinner. And where he will rest for the night. The PNG Defence Force, members of the Guard of Honor, will now take leave. They're the last ones to take leave. And this is where the television cameras also will terminate from Jackson's airport. Kisim flower gifts na isawe and traditional sign blomipla long national capital na Papua New Guinea golong. Tasalol man blong ikam all media line ikam long Vatican. Tu also I like sim this like an picture I like swim blom world all sem na all to block him all up camera blomipla tasolemi alright. So here goes the Deputy Prime Minister. Welcome to Papua New Guinea, he says. We are honored to have you here on shore. And Igola Disla now, Deputy Prime Minister, by accompany him or guide him, Holy Father, igolong all line blong em na all dignitaries was such tab blong en, and by introduce him all igolong Holy Father. Em na this like Commander blong Commodore, blong acting Chief blong Papua New Guinea Defence Force. Na igwanta blong APEC dice, whereby online blom mibla all Soria and online blom mibla long here by Suluti mem.